getting back into this guy, the Creel house. This starting with bag 8. So here's the set after 7 bags, 4 minifigures, Will, Mike, Robin, and Mr. Whatsit. Bag 8's going to start with a new minifigure being Vecna, probably the most exciting one of the set in terms of just detail level. It's certainly quite the detailed one. Okay, so yeah, bag 8. So this Vecna figure has a new like hand accessory piece that's sort of interesting, and his head is right there. Cool. Yeah, this one looks cool. I definitely like this one. I think this is my favorite one so far from the set. The arm printing is definitely quite nice. There he is, and his little bit of arm printing, and the new hand accessory piece. All right, let's get into this and yeah, continue on building the Creel house, which I enjoyed the first few bags of it. It was fun to put together, interesting to put together, some interesting building techniques so far. But yeah, the feature seems to work quite well. I'll move these over here so I'm not banging into them every second. So I guess two Henry figures in one set, but yeah, quite a few minifigures certainly in it. But they seem like some pretty decent ones. A few of them, I think specifically, maybe Steve, Jonathan, Robin. Those ones feel like not as great, just in terms of like their face prints, even especially their hair pieces, specifically more like for Steve. But yeah, I don't think those ones are going to be coming up until right at the end of the build, because I think you build the vehicles last. Not entirely sure what this section of the build is meant to be. I know that I feel like there's okay, I think this is the part where you can sort of put you can put Mr. Whatsit and Vecna, and there's sort of a like turntable type thing, and you can spin it around, and you can reveal one at a time type of thing. I think that's I believe that's this section of the build. I remember seeing an image of it that was sort of similar to that. That was sort of the smallest interior space of the build. But yeah, I think there's 23 or 24 bags. I think I'll try to get them all built today, and have this thing finished up. Should be an interesting one. Size-wise, I'm quite pleased with what I'm seeing from it. I'm quite liking how many things sort of build on the side. It's interesting and definitely adds to the overall building experience. The interior spaces definitely aren't that huge, but I think they're large enough um, for what you need to get into here. At least the ones so far. I really like the little living room space and the little accessories that are given to that. Alright, there's the little rotating piece. A lot of sand green for the walls of the build so far. And I guess a bit of tan too. But the exterior was fun to put together, especially the curved element of it. There's some newer elements that definitely helped achieve that. That I thought were quite nice, and certainly helped achieve the desired result of the build. I'm assuming there's going to be a few stickers here with this turning thing with Vecna's layer from season 4. Bit more sand green. Oh yeah, few stickers. Actually, 2 stickers on this one piece. All right, sticker 25 is this little rose wallpaper. Right, and on the other side, sticker number 9 for Vecna's layer. Alright, there's one sticker, and the other one, which looks quite cool. Yeah. Hello, and Happy New Year. Pretty good. This is bag 8 of 23, 24, I think. And yeah, getting into the first few were definitely getting into the actual house, or the base of the house, and now it's sort of gotten quite a bit more into the actual interior of it, but it's looking good. Looking quite good. Enjoying it. There's been some interesting techniques throughout it. It's, I guess, been a bit more interesting than quite a few different house builds have done. Yeah, there's some interesting upside down building and slopes that definitely add to the experience of it. And quite a few figures still left to go by the look of it. But yeah, it's a solid build. I enjoyed it. There's yeah, I like that. I definitely, when I saw the set, I quite liked the look of it and felt it was quite accurate to the show. But yeah, I was quite happy to see them do another Stranger Things set, and I hope they do another one another time. But I guess this one seems to have sold quite well. I was quite surprised the size of the line that my Lego store had. I really hadn't seen it that big before. It was definitely, I think a decent amount of people were going for this set. It seemed like this set and Ninjago were sort of the big things that a lot of people were lined up for. But yeah. They're definitely not the best looking sets that I've seen. Like it, I have no interest in buying them, and I definitely won't pick them up. But yeah, I don't really have any interest in buying those sets really whatsoever. But yeah, they don't look all that well designed, and I don't really find the feature of it to look all that appealing, and so yeah, I definitely won't be picking any of them up. I thought the Millennium Falcon sort of looked interesting, and I'm kind of interested to see more of the Mos Eisley playset. That would probably be the ones that I'm most interested in, but in the Darth Vader's tie, the X-Wing, and the throne room, I really don't have any interest in buying those. But I am excited for those the other summer Star Wars sets, that seems like a pretty interesting wave of sets, and yeah, I like that set selection. Like, I'm really excited to see that Ewok Village and the episode 2 Bounty Hunter's Pursuit sounds interesting. So. Yeah, I heard those. I really, honestly, I haven't, except for like the images. I watched a little bit of the video. I got about a minute or two into it, and I had no interest in the thing at all. I didn't care to watch the rest of it. But yeah, I heard some of those noises, and it sounds a bit silly. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I definitely won't be buying any of them, but I am interested in the summer Star Wars wave, which after the January wave there wasn't much I found all that interesting in, or at all, so I'm excited for the summer wave. It seems interesting. That was one thing that kind of caught my eye, there was something about it that I kind of liked, was the box art. I don't know what it is, I don't it definitely isn't like one of my favorite Lego Star Wars box arts I've ever seen, but it's at least like it looks a bit different, and I like it for that. So that's one thing that it's probably one thing of it that I don't dislike. But yeah, it does kind of look a bit Looney Tunes like. But yeah, it certainly seems like from everything that they've said that it's going to be something that is here to stay. So it'll be interesting to see how it does and how it performs. It seems like the reception, like from Lego fans, has been quite negative towards it, but I feel like other receptions just outside of the Lego space feel like a decent bit more positive towards it. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it does, but seems like there's still so many other regular Star Wars sets that it's not necessarily, I feel like, taken away from the theme, so I would definitely rather see like just a regular Darth Vader's TIE Fighter and a regular Millennium Falcon and regular playset Mos Eisley. But I'm interested to see it all together, and yeah, but I definitely won't be picking any of them up. Yeah, I'm really excited to see the Ewok Village. That's a set that I've definitely wanted to see a new one of. It's probably like my favorite. I feel like that's probably my favorite location in all of Star Wars, and one reason why I like Return of the Jedi quite a bit is Endor, and I love the Ewoks, and I love like the Ewok Hunt Battlefront 2 mode, and yeah, I'm very excited for that. The Bounty Hunter Pursuit seems like an interesting one. Excited to get those characters and those outfits again. I wasn't really all that excited about like Anakin's Starfighter, the first generation of that. But then I realized with all the like arm printed Jedi that they've been doing lately, I would assume that that one includes that. And that particular Clone Wars suit armor of Anakin is one of my favorite like outfits in probably Star Wars, so I'm excited to see an official version of that minifigure. Yeah, I was sort of hoping that it was a Master Builder series set, but then I guess with that price range and the size of it, I guess not. But I'm really excited. I'm hopeful for like the next Master Builder series set because I feel like that's one of my favorite lines of sets. Just I think they're really solid ones, and definitely some of my favorites. Those large play sets are nice ones. And that Mandalorian wave of sets seems interesting. Quite a few large sets, which I guess they got the small sets out of the way in January and then just have a bunch of large sets. But yeah, I'm interested to see the Sandcrawler from that and the AT-AT, a new one of those. I guess is always interesting to see. Yeah, I'm not all that excited for that movie. I'll certainly go see it, but I don't know. I think I'm sort of done with that series. I don't really need to see all that much more of The Mandalorian, but I'm interested to see the sets for it. I'm more interested in that upcoming Ryan Gosling and Sean Levy one. I think that should be interesting. Like, I think when I think of The Mandalorian, I really enjoyed the first season of it, and I thought the second season of it was at least interesting. And I honestly can't remember a thing of what happened in the third season of the show. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's sort of run its course. There's only so many times you can do the same thing with Mandalorian, with the Mandalorian and Grogu, and I'm assuming the movie will be the same thing and nothing really all that different. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, and I'm excited to see characters like Zeb, because I like Rebels, so I'm excited for that. But other than that, I'm not all that interested in it. But it seemed like there were some interesting aliens in the trailer for it. And those are always fun to see, the practical alien effects that they do, and I feel like they do a pretty good job of that with The Mandalorian, so I think that's something that I'm sort of interested in, is those sets and those practical alien suits. I find are always interesting with the movie, or with the show. But I feel like the movie is just going to feel like a TV show. It's not going to really feel like much of a movie. but I'm sure we'll make a decent amount of money with Grogu, and I guess that'll be the most important thing of it, and I guess it'll keep getting made if it keeps making a bunch of money. But yeah. But I do like the sound of the Lego sets from it. Those seem at least interesting, and yeah. But I don't even know when that other one's supposed to be coming out. That Starfighter one. I think it's already filmed, or they're just finishing it up now, because I think it was a few months ago when they started, if I remember correctly. So it'll be. I'm interested to see that one, and yeah. I really haven't looked into it much at all, so I don't know really the timeline of when it's set. But yeah, there's not all that many like upcoming Star Wars projects that I'm super excited for. Like, I loved the second season of Andor. I think that was sort of one thing that I really quite enjoyed. And then I guess there was that animated Darth Maul show, I think. So whenever that comes out, I'm kind of excited for that. Hello. But yeah, I guess that's Starfighter movie. I guess I'm interested in it more so that I found Sean Levy's past work to be fun and interesting, so I'm interested in it for that. And I like Ryan Gosling enough to. I'm interested to see him star in a Star Wars movie. So yeah. It'll be interesting to see when that one comes out, if it gets a full wave of sets, or if they're sort of done with doing full waves of Star Wars movie sets. But yeah, I don't even know when that one's supposed to be coming out. I thought it wrapped not that long ago. I think that's something I saw about it. But yeah. Starfighter 2027? Okay. Cool. May 28th. I don't even know if that's really a correct timeline. Because I know it wrapped. Or at least I believe it wrapped like a few weeks ago. I thought I saw a post from Sean Levy about how it had wrapped. So, yeah, I'm interested in that one. I don't know about excited, but I'm at least interested to see that movie. Much more interested in that than I am the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Even though I have like the posters for the Mandalorian and Grogu, I thought those have been fun. So, oh, this is a very nice and bright and cheerful scene. I was really shocked when they decided on this set because it's not exactly the most. It's certainly not very cheerful. Or few people get killed, and that's what this particular section of the build is. I was kind of surprised when they chose to do this set just with the role that it plays in the show. It's sort of, I feel like, a very violent location. I guess not this particular version of it, but you can make that version very easily. And I don't know, it just, with what they've done previously and said in terms of making certain products, this one feels like a shift from that. So they can't make too many excuses now about not making certain things after making this set. Alright, couple of chairs for the dining room. Alright. And now the dining room table. There was part of me when this set, after it had leaked, after they took so long to reveal the set. I understand why they took so long to reveal the set, because there are a few things in the set now, looking back on it, that were sort of important things for the 5th season of the show. But there was a part of me when this was taking so long to actually be officially revealed that I was worried that they just decided to cancel the set, which wouldn't necessarily make sense with its production, but I guess it wouldn't be the first time. But I thought they had potentially sort of realized that out of all the sets they've ever made, I feel like this one has got to be the most violent one. So but oh, looks like it's the other base to the tree for bag 10. A few paper bags. Hello, how's it going? Alright, bag passing by for a little bit, and yeah. All right. All right, continuing on to the exterior of the build. Similar window design for the rest of the build. I've really enjoyed all the little details throughout the little minifigure sized accessories. Those have been quite interesting and fun, and certainly been nice additions to the set. All right. I've used a lot of these newer sloped elements throughout this build. I've been quite impressed with how they've lined up. A few plates to connect everything together. There's been some definitely interesting techniques throughout the building on its side and then connecting that to the rest of the build. It's been interesting, not just some sort of more basic brick on top of brick construction. There's been some interesting choices and techniques that have certainly elevated the building experience. And I'm liking the size of it so far. It's certainly definitely an expensive one, and I guess price for piece wise, not necessarily great. You certainly get quite a few minifigures, and some larger elements too, not just a bunch of small parts, but certainly quite a few of those as well. Building the second tree that attaches to the side that I believe sort of plays into the function of the build, so it's sort of not I don't think it's probably the best looking tree out there that they've made, but it also has a structural and play aspect to it where it actually helps you use the main function of the build. It almost acts as a handle so that you can pull it apart, which is interesting, and I guess carrying the set as well. Probably shouldn't try that. I would assume it's probably best to just hold it from its base, and then pick it up. But considering that it's connected to the entire build, I think it adds some structural aspects to it. I think the tree from the original set, the buyer's house, sort of had a bit more of a structural characteristic to it where it helps support the load of the set, so that it could turn around and have its upside down feature. Be interesting to see an updated version of that set in some way, but I definitely at this point would be sort of surprised to not see another one with just how successful this one has been so far. But I guess it'll be depending on the longevity of the sales and whether or not that was just right from the initial launch of it, and especially being so tied into the final episode's release. But, and of course also having that gift purchase tied to it, I'm sure drove sales as well. But yeah, wouldn't mind seeing more of these. I feel like that new animated show coming out for the series Tales of 85, I think it is. That one, just by the little clip of it, just feels like almost right up Lego's alley to me in terms of sets they can make. It just feels sort of perfect for that. Now, I'd certainly like sets from different parts of the show, but I wouldn't necessarily mind that to be the case. All right, make sure this is all properly connected. And oh yeah, okay, so it does sort of work as a handle and also a structural aspect to it. But you hold that down. Okay, so that Vecna transforming function works. I was wondering why it wasn't able to turn, and I was really worried that I had built the thing wrong. It's more that because it's actually built into the build. That's kind of cool. It moves very smoothly. I'm sure that was sort of fun. I wonder if I don't know if it's functions like that. I wonder if I'd find it sort of a irritating thing to design or a fun thing to design. Because on one hand, just sort of building bricks on top of bricks and making a nice looking thing is one thing, but then having a whole function added to it is another. I'm quite impressed just how smooth the function is, and how simple it is, and yeah, it's I feel like some functions are sort of clunky and slow and not great, but this one feels really smooth, and I'm sure once the entire thing is put together and you can pull it apart, it'll look quite impressive and quite cool. But yeah, I like how you reveal all the different upside down bits or Vecna's layer once you open it up. Certainly quite interesting, and very cool function. Both of the minifigure Stranger Things sets have certainly had interesting functions. I guess there's also the Castle Buyers gift with purchase that I think is kind of minifigure compatible. I don't know, it seems a little bit small. But I think it might be. But yeah, alright, some more of these pillars, keeping the same design as the last section of the build. And hopefully this time I can find all the candle pieces that I need. I think it's relatively easy. I think they showed it right at the start of the instructions to sort of just transform the set into sort of just a regular version of this house, even though then I still feel like the regular version of the house would sort of, or the original version of the house would have to be quite a bit lighter in color, almost the teal color instead of the dark blue. Whereas the dark blue definitely, I feel like it fits the season 4 and upside down version of the house quite well. The regular version, or the non-boarded up version, would probably need a different color altogether to sort of be at its best. Alright, these pillars in there. I really like the porch and its depth. I think that's it's quite nice. It's also quite nice how you really can't see all too many of the gaps for that function, even though it easily comes apart. It's relatively well hidden. You can't really see the seams of it all too well. I guess when you look at it very closely, you can certainly tell that there would be some sort of function to it, and that it can come apart. It's sort of shifted a little bit in different areas, but overall I think they hit it quite well and achieved it very well. I'm very impressed with just how well the function works and operates. I wasn't necessarily expecting it to be as smooth as it is. It's impressive just how well it's designed and how well that function works. I'm still surprised with some of the choice of the set though. I feel like something like Starcourt with even then, with the Mind Flare being made up of blown up guts of rats and people, is probably not, I don't know. I guess it's difficult to pick a set that's not all that gruesome, except for maybe like one of the houses. Because this house certainly has its fair share of bone snapping. All right. Last few bits of bag 10, and then it's on to 11. Oh yeah, that's funny. I was assuming that would be the case. It would make sense. But yeah, 11 is included in bag 11. Makes sense. And oh yeah, and Henry was in bag 1. Callie's not in the set, so you can't get her in bag 8. But I realize now why Mr. What's-It was in bag 1. It makes sense. It's kind of fun. Alright. Did I do that right? That's alright. Those cheese slopes on there. Why is there a turning bit? Whose death are they going to recreate now in this set? I kind of would really like some sets actually from like a whole almost mini wave of sets from that upcoming animated show. There's just something about it to me that feels like it fits Lego quite well. And the one thing I am excited about that show is I love the season 2 outfits. So I'm excited to see a mix of outfits from 2 and 3 with that animated show. I think it's going to be fun. Alright. So the next one, it's bag 11. We've got season 5, 11. Who has a new face print by the looks of it. I think, at least. Maybe not, I don't know. Sort of hard to tell. She's got dual molded legs. And it's interesting, I guess because you have the bandana on the torso print, so it wouldn't really make sense to have a face print with it as well. But I'm surprised at the alternate face print, which is why I'm assuming that this is not a new face print for this figure. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I'm not entirely sure. But would have been interesting to see if the alternate face print had her with the bandana over her face. But I guess it wouldn't also make sense because you'd have that already printed on the torso. So to have it there twice on the figure would look a little bit weird. But yeah. Okay. Now the entire first floor is pretty much complete. It looks quite nice. And the function works very well with these 2 trees. Yeah, it's very sturdy. I feel like these trees definitely add some structural aspects to the build. I started building that thing. Where'd I put it? Alright, so another interior space of the build, and this particular one is the Henry's Mind layer opening up for Max to see the graveyard. Very cool sticker. I quite like this one. But it's yeah. Alright. Now this one's sort of a difficult one. You have a 2x2 sticker, but you not really putting it on a 2x2 piece. You just gotta perfectly put it in the center. That's not too bad. Actually, that's not bad at all. Okay, now get this one, which is probably one of my favorite stickers of the set, so hopefully I can get that applied nicely. That's not too bad. That's a cool looking sticker. Cool graphic. The graveyard from season 4. So I guess a lot of this set is sort of mostly based off the 4th season of the show, just with season 5 outfits. Yeah. I would have liked to see Erica in this set. I think that's one character that I really would have liked to see. But I hope we get more of these sets, and then can get even more. Let me just check, make sure I did that right. No, I knew that felt a little bit off. There we go. Okay, so another part of Vecna's layer that can be revealed once you open up the function. Move it to the side, and now it's on to the curved walls, which has been very fun to put together so far. Definitely some of my favorite parts of the build, but even the entire build's been interesting, and has had some interesting features, and yeah, I think the build itself is much more interesting than I thought it was going to be. I guess I knew it had to be somewhat interesting, considering that I knew it packed a interesting play function that I knew would have a lot of moving parts to it, and had to be, of course, the build had to be sort of designed around that. But I wasn't necessarily expecting how interesting the build was actually going to be in terms of just process and techniques, and it's been fun, and seems very sturdy, and I'm impressed with it. I think this one's definitely even not actually. I think really at this point just about halfway through it. This one's definitely going to be very close for one of my favorite sets of the year. I think now that most of the summer stuff I feel like is coming in, not as much the fall stuff, and there's always something interesting in there. But so far, Lightning McQueen was great. I loved that. Once I finally gets arrived and shipped, I'm very excited to build the Speed Champions DeLorean. Minas Tirith later in the year. Very excited for that. But this one is definitely one that I am very, very interested in. I think it's sort of not necessarily confirmed, but I don't think there's supposed to be a Pirates of the Caribbean ship or set, or another Simpsons set coming out this year, which felt like maybe a possibility after last year. So without one of those, I don't think those are going to be, or those don't happen. I sort of had that penciled in as a possibility of one that I was really excited for. But yeah, I think this one already, not even having finished the build, is going to be one of my favorites of this year, and yeah, quite pleased with it. Very much enjoying it. Alright. This section of the wall, they've done a good job of differentiating it, which with each floor, I feel like it's not just the same thing over again. There's different techniques on how certain things are constructed and designed, and I appreciate that. I think that certainly goes into designing something quite nice, because you could certainly just design it very simply and just have it where everything's pretty much the same, but differentiating it certainly is quite nice. Oh, cool. So that wall shifts down a little bit, just drops down into the upside down portion of it. It'll be interesting once the thing is fully constructed, actually seeing how all how the entire function operates and how it looks once it's built. Ooh, that's nice how that takes away quite a few gaps to the build. Alright, that's all for that. Now I think this particular section of the build is now Henry's bedroom, by the look of it, and by the look of the accessories that are going to be coming up in the build. The drawing of the mind flare, which is kind of a cool little sticker. Alright, there we go. A lamp and sticker number 23. The drawing of the mind flare. Alright, just go on to there, one of the little mini statue pieces. Stickers back over here. There's one that's coming up that I'm quite excited for. It looks like a cool sticker. Alright, a few more little details for the room. Oh, the little jar that he keeps his spiders in. And some more dark blue walls. I like this color. One of my favorites to use, and one that I feel like I haven't used all that much of. Yeah, this is definitely, I feel like, the biggest thing that I've done with this color, but it's one that I've always liked, and thought it was a really nice one. So yeah, I like its inclusion. It certainly feels like the best choice of color for this particular version of the house. I think maybe a teal, but even then, I've got that teal color in front of me, and it's definitely not definitely wouldn't be the ideal choice for the original version of the house. But I don't really think there is a color that necessarily works perfectly. So to make a whole new color and then make hundreds of new elements in that color is probably not all that realistic for one set. So makes sense. But yeah, dark blue feels like a decent choice for the color of it. At least this sort of upside down and rundown version of the build. good to get into the attic space because I think there's sort of 2 floors of actual minifigure spaces, and then the attic space that I think has a few things with its prominence in the final episode of season 4. Some more windows. Oh, now being added onto the sloped side of it. And I guess I'll use the same technique as the last one did. Yep, exactly. Where it used these triangular pieces to get the slope needed to really close up any possible gaps in the sloped or the edge of the wall to make sure that there was no gaps there, which is quite nice, and I think these definitely do a very, very good job of that. I realized looking at it now, the interior is actually pretty reasonably sized, and yeah, I think it's better than I originally thought it was going to be. And when building that base, and I realized this is going to be the entire depth of the set, it sort of seemed short. But now looking at it now, there's a reasonable bit of size here, and yeah, I'm interested to see how popular this one is as just sort of a house build, since you can remove the boarded up windows relatively easily, because we don't really have all that many Lego houses in this style and time. So yeah, I'm interested to see sort of where the minifigures are in terms of prices on this one. I really haven't looked at anything that I know from that original set. I think the Demogorgon and Dustin are sort of the most expensive ones, and then everyone else is not all that expensive. But yeah, I would assume Vecna, just being the most detailed one of them all, and then I wouldn't necessarily expect many of the others. But yeah, maybe Dustin, just to, considering that original one was quite popular, that original set's minifigure was quite popular, but also just to get that Hellfire shirt. I'm sure that's probably the most interesting and exciting torso print of any of the minifigures. But I'd love to get Eddie with his Hellfire shirt and jacket. That'd be a cool one to get. All right, now a bed. And after this, I think Henry's bedroom will be fully put together and complete. A little board at the end, and one more sticker number 22 for a book on spiders, which is kind of cool. The spider on the image is pretty close to the shape of any Lego spiders that you would get, which is always kind of fun, seeing the Lego versions of things from shows like this. All right. we go. And that just goes in. At an angle. Cool. I really like how the bed is done. I probably need to make sure that stud is attached. There we go. I really like how that's at an angle. That's cool. Nice interior space. Interior section, and with this, that is it for bag 11. Cool. All right, this is where the build is at after 11 bags. You've got the pretty much first floor done, the trees with their structural parts, the start to the second floor, the function, and then the interior with Henry's room, the dining room, the living room, the door, and the foyer area, and then the little transforming thing for Henry. All right, bag 12. This looks like a very short bag. The dining room definitely was one of the longer ones, just with its larger footprint. But most of these bags have been quite short. All right, I guess this ball joint is probably for a few of the other pieces that were included, the additional sort of just extra larger elements that don't get put into bags, so that everything is connected, and even though it seems like it functions quite well now, it functions, I guess, even better later on and smoother, which makes enough sense. All right. And that entire wall section is now put together. I thought the interior was going to feel quite small, but I think as I've put it together, I've realized it's actually a decently spaced and sized interior. So that's been nice to see. I guess maybe some cobwebs or just some random parts, maybe not really any detail. But now moving on to this first of the attic spaces. A lamp. All right, yeah, a bunch of candles and a bunch of spiders, and yeah, that's what this section of the build is for before Henry goes and kills 2 people. All right, there we go. There's 1, 2 of that. Put it in. One of those, and a couple of candles. candles. And there we go. Few jars of spiders. Certainly quite a few small elements in this bag with all the little accessories and candle parts. Get that. You get one spider in there, one actual spider piece, and then a bunch of candles. Alright, there we go. I guess that main wall section is done for now. Flip it around, and I guess it will be on to sort of the roof of this section of the build. Go, and a couple more. Other side. There we go. Wonderful. Oh, and well, radio, I guess, for Max. Right. Couple more of these window elements in brown. Oh, and now some roof sloped elements. And I guess those window elements do add some structural aspects to the build, which is certainly useful. quite like the slope on this roof. Now they made it sort of look a bit run down as well. I think they've done a good job of that between different parts of the build to assist with that just overall look of it, and more dilapidated look that you'd want to achieve with this rundown house. I think building this one, I'm going to be really disappointed if they don't keep doing more of these, because I'd really like to see more of them now, building this one. That aren't necessarily just brickheads, because they've certainly made a few of those now. I think at some point, though, I do want to pick up that Season 5 brickheads pack of sets with, I think it's Holly 11, Max, and Demogorgon, I believe. Yeah, I think that it was either, I think that's the pack that it's either that one. No, I think I was sort of surprised that the new January one was like $5 cheaper than that. Dustin, Lucas, Mike, and Will, Season 1. All right. And that interior is complete, and that section of the roof is as well. And now it's on to day 13 with the next figure of the set. Holly Wheeler. She's got a harder cloth cape piece, teal legs. I think that's somewhat, no, actually I think it's a longer one than the newer skirt piece. And I think this is the newer color hairpiece that was introduced in January with this set, with both Mr. Whatsit and Holly. Oh, and I guess this is the next sort of interior section of the build, which is Alice's bedroom, I believe. should go above the kitchen area. So I think this is sort of a separate section, and then you attach it to the rest of the build. Looks like there's going to be a bit more building on the side, which is always fun. Happy I was able to find that. I wasn't going to have to search through the rest of the thing for the rest of the bag for those elements. Alright, that connects nicely together. Now similarly sized thing. Love when it's built on its side like that. I think it sets it up for some very interesting looking designs that you're able to achieve once it's built like that. And they do a good job of it so far in this set, with getting some really nice nice shaping and patterns throughout the walls that aren't just simply built up with just bricks on top of bricks and plates on top of plates. All right. More of the boarded up windows. Wonderful. Starting building up the roof on this section of the build. Ooh, I like this little arch that they're adding above the window below, which I'm sure is going to look quite nice once that's complete. A few sloped elements around that to shape the roof around the arch, which is certainly interesting and quite cool. Always love to see arches. And then I would assume, yep, in that is that for this bag, just a wall that will be added to the next section. Bag 14. One more little piece. There we go. All right, now the floor of Alice's bedroom. Interestingly colored, sort of coral colored wallpaper, which looks quite cool. Little mirror on there. Now the rest of the wallpaper, bag or sticker number 6. Applied that pretty well. It's not too bad. All right, now the other side of it, sticker number 1. All right, well, I believe I made a mistake here with the stickers that I chose to do. That is that. Ooh, breaking everything. Good idea. There we go. that. I think I'll wrap this one up after this bag, I think. But yeah, it's certainly, it's been a fun one to put together. I've really enjoyed it. I love how this interior space sort of is separate from the rest of it. It's kind of cool. So well, almost playset type thing. There we go. One by one. All right, now some accessories. So next week, I think I'll have a few live streams, or at least two. Building some January stuff. Just got in the blacksmith shop from Ninjago, so I can do a stream doing that, and then I also got a Marvel set that I think I'll do a stream for, and then past that, just waiting for a couple other sets to ship and arrive for my January 1st Lego order, another Legacy Ninjago set, and then after that, also some Speed Champions, both the DeLorean and the F1 movie car, and then after that, also going to do stream building the Jazz Club, that modular building, as well as a few other sets. So for the next few weeks, there'll be some streams. Also continuing on plans for the next little while. A lot of Funko reviews. A lot of the season 5 Stranger Things pops recently picked those up, so gonna be doing quite a few on those. And then some dinosaurs to review, some Hammond collection, but also some Creative Beast Studios ones that I'm very excited for, because one of them I recently opened up, the Pachyrhinosaurus Leucostai, which very excited to take a look at that one, because I really enjoyed that. Yeah, and then of course, I think I'm planning on doing a review for this Creel house. I think, yeah, I think I will do one for this. And then of course the promo as well. Got a Harry Potter set yesterday, the one with the Death Eaters from January, so I'll take a look at that, as well as the small Ninjago set, the small one with the fox, which built that yesterday, enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice little set, and those little Minecraft sets are great, with just what you get in the set for a pretty low price, threshold. But yeah. There we go. Lamp. Oh, and now I guess a fireplace. Oh yeah, and I guess this is all for Holly to get prepared and ready before she heads out and ends up finding Max. Alright. Image. The fire poker used by Holly in her confrontation with Mr. Whatsit in the series is represented here by a Lego ski pole element that was originally introduced in 2010 for a series of collectible minifigures. How cool. Sticker number 7 with all the sort of Alice in Wonderland details that are in this room. Similar to that. Next picture is Bunny, which is a little bit gruesome considering what Henry does to the bunny just outside of the house. And with that, I think I should have put it in. Let me just look back. Yeah. I have a few too many extra things for bed. Other than that, it looks fine. Get this bed in there. And here is Alice's room. There's the outside. You've got the inside with that mirror. There's the little part to the Henry's line there. Some of the details. And now, sort of attaches on in there. And I guess once this is put, yeah, it does sort of shift off a little bit. That's kind of cool how it shifts. This is a cool function. So there is the build for today and 12 bags in, or not 12, 14 Got both trees in main function, and now that is working, and quite a few minifigures. But yeah, I think that's going to be wrapped up for today, and yeah, it's been fun to put together. So see you with the next stream next week, which I think will probably be the Ninjago Blacksmith Shop, I think. So yeah, thanks for watching, anyone did, and anyone watching later. Yeah, that's the stream for today in building the Creel house, which is a pretty cool set. Really enjoying it, and hope there's more Stranger Things sets in the future. So I'd be sort of disappointed if there are only two, because I'm really impressed with this one. So yeah, see you in the next one.